It's your boy Sid, and welcome to Speak Your Mind All the Time Talk Show. Guys, I got a special guest. And you know, Sid's been out of the loop for a minute, but I'm back, harder than ever. I got a special guest on the show. I got Steezy A. Smith, a Seattle Seahawks fan, as you guys can see. Steezy, man. Steezy, I don't want to say Steve, I'll say Steezy. Let the fans know about you, about your channel, and how you became a Seattle Seahawks fan, and why not a Dallas Cowboys fan? I want to hear it.
All right, y'all. Well, my name's Calvin Domingo, aka Steezy A. Smith. I started doing YouTube a couple of months ago, and I feel like it's something that I wanted to do for a while. Prior to YouTube, I was talking sports on the radio. I'm still currently the sports editor for my school's newspaper. And so a good friend of mine suggested that I start doing YouTube, and because he's the one that I do my podcast with. And so I was just like, you know what, let's do it. And so I got into it a couple of months ago, like I said, and ever since then, I've just been trying to, drop content on a regular weekly basis. I became a Seattle Seahawks fan because I wasn't born here in Seattle, but I was raised here in Seattle pretty much. I was born in Hawaii. Yeah. And then I think when I was like 3 or 4 years old, we moved over to Virginia, where my brother was born. And then from Virginia, we drove from there all the way to Seattle, Washington. And so I've been there since I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And wow. So I've been in Seattle ever since. And I've just, I kind of picked up on the Hawks when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, just because like my dad, he's a huge Seahawks fan. A lot of my family members are Seahawks fans. And, as you get older, you start to watch games with them. You start to buy, Seahawks gear. And I fell in love.
Seahawks, man. Listen, Seahawks are a good team. I'm not going to trash on them too much. I will hit on certain points. But, as you notice, you guys are 2-0 going into Sunday's game. Were you shocked about the outcome that you guys had on Sunday?
I was a little bit shocked. When we had that goal line stand, prior to that goal line stand, Cam was having a pretty solid day rushing the football. And, he has 4 rushing touchdowns in 2 games to date. And so with our defense, the way that it's been struggling at times in these 2 games that we played, I was just like, oh, man, I think this one's a touchdown. And so as soon as they snapped the ball, I had a little bet on the game as well. And I was prepared to say goodbye to my money. I was like, man, it was a good game while it lasted, but this was on the defense. And then to see LJ Collier and Jamal Adams wrap up Cam Newton, oh man, I was ecstatic. I was like, man, not only am I getting, my money, but obviously as a Seattle Seahawks fan, that puts a good feeling in my heart, whether or not there's money on the table. And so to answer your question, yeah, I was a little surprised, but at the end of the day, we got superstars on defense, we got playmakers, and so to see them step up and make a play, phenomenal. Love it.
Yeah, man, 100%. I'm with you. I think Dallas too. We were surprised. I don't know if you saw, but
Oh, I definitely saw.
Yeah. No, 100%. Our game was. Sorry, I'm just getting texts, and somebody told me that there was something wrong with the stream, but no, it's good now.
Okay.
Our game was very. Bro, you don't understand. Like, being a Dallas Cowboys fan, I don't think it's as hard as a Seattle's fan. Because...
You think so?
Bro, the hate that we get, it's incredible. It's either you're a Dallas Cowboys fan or you're a Dallas Cowboy hater. And
right.
We got a lot of haters. Because and I don't know if you got to admit, Dallas Cowboys are the most talked about team about in the NFL.
I mean, you guys are America's team for a reason,
As long as you recognize it, as long as you said it, you agree, we're America's team. And I think...
so, okay, just because I said it doesn't mean I necessarily agree, but I can't lie to you. You guys are the most talked about team. Everybody talks about the Cowboys. Everybody's a fan of the Cowboys. And I think there's a little misconception. I think that a lot of people, they don't necessarily hate on the Cowboys as much as they actually hate on the fans. Just because, I know you're familiar with Stephen A. Smith. He's always expressing his hatred, and he's always funny about it, of course. But every time he talks about Dallas Cowboys or the fans, he's always talking this he's always talking down upon him, and I think it's funny. I think it's great entertainment, but I think that's kind of where people are coming from. Like they're just like looking at the fans. They're like, oh man, the fans are annoying. But you're a different fan, and so I enjoy fans like you who are able to stay calm and not be so obnoxious and not be so riled up and all that. You get what I'm saying?
I was riled up on Sunday, man. Listen. My phone was getting so much hate after the first quarter. It was unbelievable.
I bet.
Dallas made a lot of mistakes going into Sunday's game, but I didn't count them out. And, like I told people after the game, and the reason why I didn't count them out, I don't know if you remember, but Atlanta's known for choking.
Oh, yeah, I know that well.
Listen, Super Bowl is the number one thing that I remember. And I said, man, they if they can mess up a Super Bowl that bad, what goes to say they won't mess up this game? And I don't know if you saw that onside kick, but I don't know why they felt they had to wait 10 yards to get the ball, because everybody knows it's only the kicking team that has to wait 10 yards. The receiving team, all they had to do was kick the ball out of bounds, jump on it. There was 4 guys just watching the ball roll, and
we're all just like,
yeah, like they were trying to find something. Like, where is it at? Where is it at? And when we got the ball, and CeeDee Lamb caught it, and I knew we were in field goal range, and Greg the Leg did his thing, I lost my mind, man. Like, I was screaming like there was no, just probably like how you were screaming after your game, because your defensive line stepped up and stopped Cam. But again, and I think that's a mistake that a lot of teams are doing, and the Dallas Cowboys are known for it too, is you guys are expecting it. You guys knew that Cam was most likely going to run the ball, no?
Oh, but yeah, I expected it. I mean, it was a predictable play call. I saw the formation. I saw that they stacked and they loaded to the left side. And I was just like, oh, we've seen this multiple times this game. But the difference was they were successful in most of those runs. And, we weren't going to let it happen a third time. Third time is not the charm, not this time around. And so I'm glad that we made the proper adjustments. And I'm glad that Jamal Adams and LJ Collier were smart enough to realize that, okay, although they're making a predictable play, they've been pretty successful with it all night long. And so I'm glad that they were able to step up and kind of get over the hump.
Yeah, man, 100%. And you said somebody's name that really, I'm kind of upset that we're going, Jamal Adams is doing big things, man. And I didn't want him. And
you didn't want him?
No. And I regret it. And Spoonie, and I want to send a huge shout out to my man, Jay Tuck, Knicks, all these guys wanted him, and I was like, nope, I don't want him. He's a problem. He's a box safety, and I see what he's doing in Seattle, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll admit it, I was wrong. And I'm not looking. Right. This is going into this game on Sunday against Seattle. I would have definitely liked to have him on our side of the fence right now. He's on your side, and I think he's gonna come back with a little bit of vengeance, because to say, hey, you guys had an opportunity to get me, and let me show you what you guys lost. A chance.
Missed out on.
Lost out on. Exactly. So I do have to admit, I'm a little sour. About this. And I'm not looking forward to having him coming at us. And Dallas right now, I have to say our defense is, I'm worried. I'm worried about our secondary. And you guys got a lot of key receivers, man. So you guys got Russell Wilson has weapons. And
weapons galore.
Yeah, Dak does too. Let's not get it twisted.
Oh yeah, no, Dak has a better. I can't even lie to you about Dak. He has a better all around core around him in terms of weapons.
Right now, the problem that we're having is that we're not giving Dak enough protection time to be able to get the ball out. But
exactly,
he adapts well, and he showed that on Sunday. He realized that, hey, I don't have as much time as I usually do to get the ball out as quick as I do. So he adapted to that well, and he showed that Dak is a strong QB. And we're going to go into this a bit later on in the show, but a lot of people compare Dak to Russell.
Right.
So do I think Dak is just as good as Russell? I think he's up there. But in my opinion, I think that give him another year or two, I think he'll be a better QB than Russell Wilson. Again, this is my opinion, right? Speak your mind all the time. I'm speaking my
Speaking
mind
mine all the time.
right? So I'm just letting you know what I think. But what do you think Seattle's game plan has to be going into Sunday to be able to beat Dallas?
So I'm actually dropping a video later today detailing my 3 keys to Seahawks victory against the Dallas Cowboys this coming Sunday.
Yep.
And one of the first points that I brought up was that I think we should air it out. Look, you brought it up earlier. The Dallas Cowboys, your guys' defense has been struggling. You know, obviously you guys are without Sean Lee. You guys are without Leighton Vander Esch.
Yep.
And Vander Esch, he's a top 10 linebacker at the very least in the National Football League. And so to be missing a playmaker like Vander Esch, that definitely hurts the defense. But you're also looking at, what's his name, starting cornerback. Is it Chidobe Ogwobi?
He's injured.
Yeah, he's injured. I apologize if I
No, I always match up his name too. So yeah, we're gonna touch a little bit on the injuries after too, because I think you guys are also you guys got some key guys out as well.
We do.
I'm gonna talk a little bit on that too, because I know that, and I'll tell you right now. I'll show you. Let's just jump into it because I did pull it out. So basically, you guys, Dwayne Brown is out, knee foot, right?
Oh, he's out. Oh, last time I looked up, it said he was questionable, so he's actually out.
Well, it says did not participate as of yesterday.
Okay. Oh, wow. Man, I hope he plays.
Yep. You got Benson, who did not participate, groin. And you got Rasheem, who did not participate as well yesterday, neck injuries, right? So for us who didn't participate as of yesterday, we had Awuzie. We got DeMarcus Lawrence, D-Law. And we got Tyron Smith, who's probably not playing, neck injury, right?
Oh, Tyron's not playing. Wow.
Well, I don't know if he's not playing. He didn't participate. So,
okay, yeah.
And guys in the chat, I know the chat's not blowing up yet. Usually I do my shows in the evening, but anybody will definitely tune in on this and watch and comment later on. Right. I don't think he'll be playing, but it's definitely something that we're gonna have to see, right? So you guys got some key players out. So do we. I think, in my opinion, I'll let you know now. I think that Dallas has to control the clock. Now, I did see Mike McCarthy say that he wants to go out and score as often as he can, put up high numbers. But I think that we need to control the clock, and we need to keep Russell Wilson off the field as much as we can.
Yeah, definitely. When I was looking at key points for Dallas as well, I think that's definitely a great point. Obviously, these two teams are very explosive offenses, and to be able to keep the other offense off the field, you got to hold on to the football. And obviously, with you guys having Ezekiel Elliott, a top 5 running back, one of the best running backs in football, that's definitely something that you guys should look to do early and often. I just think that depending on how the game starts off, that's why for me, I think my first key is to air it out. Just because you guys have all these injuries, especially in the secondary, and even without the injuries, you guys' secondary has kind of struggled. Ours has as well. But I think that if we're able to take advantage of the injuries in the secondary and of the play in the secondary, if we start scoring early, then I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to run the football. I guess it all kind of depends on who gets the football first, who's able to score first, because both teams can run, both teams can score, both teams are explosive on offense. Actually, I see a whole lot of similarities between these two teams, and we'll probably get into that a little bit later, but I think that you're definitely spot on. Dallas should look to run the football early and often, feed Zeke, but we'll kind of see where the game starts off and who has the ball first.
Yeah, man. Zeke is definitely going to be we got to get Zeke the ball early.
Early, feed the beast.
Yeah, we got to feed Zeke, and if Zeke could get his running game, even Tony Pollard, if we could control the clock with the running game, and then once you guys adjust to the running game, start airing out the ball, we have as much. This is going to be a very, very high scoring game.
Oh, fireworks. Expect fireworks.
Yeah, 100%, man. And, we're going to jump into little stats just right about now,
okay,
if you want to. So I pulled out the stats from last week. You'll see the flip just in about a second. So there's not much different comparison to what Dallas did to what Seattle did. As you notice, first downs, we had more first downs than you guys, obviously, but that's a given. We got Zeke being able to run the ball, and we got Dak able to get the ball fairly out quickly to our key receivers, right? First downs, we had 20, you guys had 11. Rushing first downs, we had 9, you guys had 10. Third down efficiency, I think we were more successful with the third down. Fourth down, you saw the game. I don't know if you saw the highlights, but there was some key factors that when we shouldn't have went for it. I felt it was stupid. We didn't need to go for it on fourth down in the first quarter. This is, we didn't have to go, do that kick, that fake punt. Like, these are certain things. I think Mike McCarthy, he's making a mistake, and I think he's making the wrong decisions going forward on fourth down so early in the season. I don't know if I said this on a stream with my boy Jay Tuck, and a huge shout out to my man Jay Tuck, who definitely in the chat right now. I said, I don't know, Mike McCarthy is trying to show that he has some balls and that he's able to go for it on fourth down when he needs to. But it's not the time. I think you go for it on fourth down in the fourth quarter when you don't have much time on the clock. You're behind. I think that's when you need to make these type of decisions. But going for it on fourth down in the first quarter?
Definitely very questionable. I think, remember when Jason Garrett was in town, I think that, he'd always take flack for not going for it on certain fourth down situations. And so I think Mike McCarthy, he's kind of taking that, and he's kind of maybe pushing it out to an extent that maybe he shouldn't be pushing out to at this point. As you mentioned, going forward in the first quarter when I think they started off being down. And obviously, it's a very aggressive play call. They had the weapons and the personnel to make plays and to convert on those downs. But I think that he's kind of looking at Jason Garrett's mistakes and his past faults a little too hard, and he's trying to right himself from all those wrongs that have plagued Dallas for the last, 6 to 7, maybe 8 to 9 years. Yep. And so maybe he's trying a little hard at this point, but that's kind of the way that I see it.
Yeah. So total plays, I don't know, as you notice, we have more plays than you guys do, and Dak definitely put up some crazy yards, 570 yards compared to 429. And that's why I say, when it comes to certain things, I think Dak is a better overall QB. I think Dak is better. It's a better. Not Dak. Sorry, Russell Wilson is a better scrambler than Dak. I would give him that. You know what? When you give Russell that pressure, he's one of those guys that, he'll alleviate pressure and find some way to get his ball where he needs to whatever receiver is out there, or run the ball to get that first down. So we're definitely going to have to keep Dak contained. And with our defense right now, where they're at, I don't know if we can do that. And that's the worry I have going into the season, the Sunday's game. I should say not the season, but Sunday's game against Seattle. What worries you about the Dallas Cowboys going into this?
Hey, my guy, I guess great minds think alike, because my biggest worry heading into the football game this coming Sunday in our matchup is our defense as well. Like I said, you guys have all these weapons. You guys have all these playmakers on offense. I don't know who we're going to be able to key in on. And we kind of touched upon it earlier, but now with the season-ending injuries, torn ACLs to our starting strong side linebacker and Bruce Irvin, our starting nickelback, our main backup safety, Marquise Blair, who showed lots of promise. Both these guys are out for the game, and now you also brought up the injury report from earlier. Potentially Dwayne Brown might not play. Potentially Rasheem Green might not play. And so we're already a little bit banged up on defense, and we've been struggling on defense as well. We've given up. We've been bleeding yards, bleeding points to the Atlanta Falcons and to the New England Patriots. I understand we have a whole lot of faces on defense. Guys are still trying to gel. I think that Jamal Adams, he's provided a huge impact to this defense. I can feel his presence each and every single time on every single play, and I think that he's definitely worth everything we give up. And I've definitely felt his presence, but I think that with the other guys, I'm still not seeing enough pressure, from our pass rushers. I know it's early, but I would like to see more pressures. I think that Jordan Brooks, I'd like to see him step up. But overall, I'm just a little bit concerned about our defense. You guys have 3 starting caliber wide receivers, 3 number 1 wide receivers. And as I mentioned earlier, you guys have a top 5 running back. And even though your guys' offensive line isn't as good as it was in its prime years with Travis Frederick at center and all that, I think that, with Zach Martin, you guys still have some beasts on the O-line that, we might not be able to get past with the way that our pass rushers have been playing this year. And so if my biggest concern is definitely our defense and being able to contain all the weapons that you guys have, because you guys have so many.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I think these are 2 top teams going head to head. It's going to be, it's perfect time, 4:00 in the afternoon. It's going to be a great game. I think it's earlier for you, right? Because you're 3 hours behind, right?
Yeah, for us it's at 1:25.
Okay, see, here's 4:00 in the afternoon. For me, that's perfect. right in the smack middle of the afternoon. You know, I'm gonna have the wings ready. You know, it's gonna be game day. I might actually stream live, and I'm hoping to shout out to my man Jay Tuck again, man. I'm hoping to do something maybe with him and definitely stream live during the game. But he's the type of guy that when things don't go well, he kind of loses his mind. He throws his hat a few times, so I think he doesn't want to show that side of him on camera. But I definitely listen. After Sunday's game, I'm not sure if I'm going to stream live either, because the beginning of the game I was losing my mind too. So I might have a few curse words during the game this Sunday. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get banned for something. So listen, I think that we have fairly similar stats from last Sunday's game, but I want to flip the script over for a minute here. I want to talk about these two guys because I think definitely Dak and Russell Wilson are very, very close, very similar. I'm talking about if we look at last year's stats and stats going into this year already, Dak had a better overall QBR than Russell last year. Russell had more rushing yards. The difference is we're close in touchdowns, very, very close. Yards, Dak had better yardage than Russell last year. And obviously, Dak had 11 interceptions last year. Now, I blame that on rookie jitters, right? Everybody forgets Dak hasn't been in the league very long, right? So he's still developing as a QB. And I said it, and I'm going to say it to you too. I think Dak will be in the Hall of Fame. Big statement, huge statement, but I see so much potential in him, and I believe with Mike McCarthy behind him, he will develop to be an elite QB. So I will definitely, I see him going into Hall of Fame. I believe that overall, is Dak at Russell's potential? He's not far behind, and I believe that in a couple of years, Dak will be a better QB than Russell Wilson. What do you think about me making that statement? You see what's going on already this year. The only I was shocked when I pulled out Russell Wilson's stats this morning from this year. I didn't know that he threw 9 touchdowns already. Not like, whoa. That's to me, that's insane. Passing yards, as you see, Dak is already ahead. Touchdowns, Russell Wilson's ahead. Interceptions, Russell Wilson threw an interception, and he's ahead in QBR right now. And I think it's because of the touchdowns, obviously. But do you think overall Russell Wilson is better than Dak? And do you think that Dak will become better than Russell Wilson? I know that you're a Seattle's fan, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not a Seattle's fan, and I'm telling you, yes, Russell Wilson is a better overall QB right now. But I think going into later seasons, I think Dak will become a better QB than Russell Wilson.
I mean, look, right now, bro, I think it's an undisputed answer for me. I think it's obviously Russell Wilson. We look at last season, Dak Prescott had more yards, but for me, I place a lot more value on wins and losses. And obviously, football is a team sport, and so I'm not saying that all of our wins are attributed to Russell Wilson. But Dak Prescott, he led the league last year in passing yards with 4,902. But the Cowboys went 8-8. And I understand you guys had a whole mess at head coach. Obviously, Jason Garrett wasn't the guy. But last season, Dak still had Amari Cooper. He still had Michael Gallup. He still had Zeke. His offensive line was better. His defense might have even been better last year. And he plays in the worst division of football. And so I'm not trying to sound like I'm too harsh on Dak Prescott, but you're playing in the weakest division in the NFC least, and you put up all these numbers, and yet you guys still miss the playoffs. And then I think their record against teams, or your guys' record against teams with a record of 500 or above, was 1-6 or 1-7 or something along those lines last year. And so for me, that's one of the reasons why I think that as of right now, Russell Wilson is a far superior quarterback. Especially when comparing the systems. Last year, Dak had the freedom to air it out. You guys were down in so many games, and so Dak was able to accumulate the statistics. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to discredit anything that Dak Prescott did last year. He was absolutely phenomenal. The season that he had last year is actually one of the reasons why I drafted him onto one of my fantasy teams. And last week, he single-handedly led me to victory. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown. Yeah. But I think that at this point in his career, you said it earlier, he's still young. He still has time to develop. And to be behind Russell Wilson or to even be compared to Russell Wilson, I think is a huge sign of his potential, of things to come down the line. Russell Wilson right now, he's smack dab in the prime of his career. He's like, 31 years old.
Yep.
Dak Prescott's only 25, 26. And so for him to even be in a conversation, I think that my hat's off to Dak. Like Russell Wilson, he's arguably the best quarterback in football today, if not a top 2 quarterback. Dak Prescott, he's just outside my top 5. But I think that by the end of this season, if he could guide the Dallas Cowboys to the playoffs and win the division, he has to win the division this year, especially with the way the division is looking. I think that I could definitely start to, see him creeping into my top 5. As for your assertion that Dak Prescott will be better than Russell Wilson, was it by next season or a couple seasons from now?
I'll give him 2 more years.
2 more years. I think I think that's very realistic. As I said, Russell Wilson, he's 31 years old. By the time, that 2-year time period comes up, he'll be 33 going on 34. And by then, Dak Prescott's going to be emerging. He's going to be going into his prime at 28, 29. And so that could very well be the case. But until it happens, Russell Wilson's still better than Dak Prescott in my eyes, even in my unbiased opinion as well. Just the way that he's been playing, the way he's been elevating this football team, he's just absolutely phenomenal, spectacular. Every time I see him on the field, just making plays. And, he's just in the category like no one else. You said it as well, 9 touchdowns in 2 games. He only has 1 pick, and that 1 pick was a drop by Greg Olsen. And so imagine if Greg Olsen focused a little better and actually caught that football. Russell Wilson would have 9 touchdowns to 0 picks. And so you also look at the number of points that we've been able to score in the first couple of games. Our offense. We're a run-based team. That Pete Carroll likes to be conservative with the football. But I think that this season we've done a great job of letting Russell Wilson cook. And obviously it's paying dividends. And I think that eventually it can pay off in the Super Bowl for us.
Yeah, man. Listen, I got my man Jay Tuck laughing at you, actually. Steezy A. Smith. And he put the Stephen A., obviously, and I want to jump into that a little bit right now. So why Steezy A. Smith? Was it because of Stephen A. Smith, or because you're not a Cowboys hater, and I respect you for that, because you're not sitting here trash talking and saying, you're actually realizing the potential that the Dallas has going into this game on Sunday, and I appreciate that very much. But with that being said, do people expect you to be a Dallas Cowboys hater because of your name?
Hey, bro, I can't lie to you. Low key, deep down, I am a Dallas Cowboys hater. I feel like I'm able to do a good job of maybe not concealing it, but I think I'm able to do a solid job of not talking trash or talking down upon any team, especially the Dallas Cowboys. I call everything how I see it, and I got to get credit where credit's due, and I got to tip off my hat to where I feel like it's deserved. And so obviously, even if I was to hate the Dallas Cowboys, I still got to be able to recognize everything that's going on and everything that's right in front of me. And to answer your question about my name, so in high school, my sophomore year, my nickname was Cal Steezy. And so everybody started calling me Cal Steezy. And a couple years in, I think the nickname kind of got old. And so rather than call me Cal Steezy, everybody started calling me Steezy. And Stephen A. Smith, he's somebody that I've looked up to. He's somebody that I respect a whole lot. I admire him, and I'm always watching First Take, damn near every single day. And I've been doing that for the last 3-4 years. And so I put together my new nickname, Steezy, and then Stephen A. Smith, he's almost synonymous. He's almost synonymous with sports. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Why not combine my nickname with somebody that I look up to, because part of his name is synonymous with sports. And so if I was to put down Steezy A. Smith, people would be like, oh, did I just hear Stephen A. Smith? No, you heard Steezy A. Smith. And so I feel like while I'm adding somewhat of a unique twist to the name, it's also kind of maybe not the most original, but the point is I guess I'm kind of trying to, be a little funny, poking a little bit of fun. But I've gotten a whole lot of good reviews on the name. A lot of people like it. I've had a few people say, oh, you're copying Stephen A. Smith, be more original, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I'm trying to be original. I might not be the most original, but I feel like because Steezy is in there and that's my nickname, I don't hear anyone else being called Steezy. I've never met another, Cal Steezy or Steezy in my life. And so I think it's original enough to the point where I could use it as my name.
No, man. Listen, we got to go on what works for us, right? So, listen,
right.
It is what it is. So definitely respect on that and keep doing you, man. I think that us bloggers, people don't realize the work that we put into this, and we do this because we love doing it. You know, like not because we listen. This is a lot of work, and I don't think people realize the time that we put in to try and get ourselves out there and so on. So it's a grind, man. So do what you do and do what works for you, man. I just want to jump in the chat. We got an Eagles up in the chat. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. My boy Jay Tuck. Oh, never mind. I take my comment back. Laugh out loud. So we're gonna, like I said, if you could reach out to your man, and we can do a collab. Me, you, Cam. What's it? What's his?
Norbcam.
Norbcam. Yeah, man. If you could set that up, man. Like I said, I reached out to him. I know Jay Tuck was reaching out to him. I don't know if they got it worked out or not, but if we could do a post game on Sunday. Listen, I'm letting you know now. If you guys lose, I'm not gonna be friendly.
Hey, it's all good, bro. I could take the heat. I know that if I could dish it out, I gotta be able to take it.
Yeah, man, and I'm sure. So Jay Tuggs, he just chimed in. He says, him and Cam got it set up for tonight. So he's gonna be, guys. Be sure to check that out. That's gonna be a hot show. Jay Tuck with Cab Norb?
Oh, Norbcam.
Norbcam. Sorry, Norbcam. Yeah. Definitely check that out. And we're going to see if we can get a post game, all four of us, on Sunday. I think that would be hot to do. We definitely got to get that going. We got Zay. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Ask him whose roster is better. And overall, who's got the better roster? That's a good question. So
yeah, I like that question. So
for me, I'm gonna say, from what I can see, bro, ask him. I'm asking. I think the Dallas Cowboys, offensively, we have a young team, young, hungry team. I think we have a better roster. And this is my opinion, guys. This is me voicing my opinion. Defensively, I don't think we have a better roster right now. I think we did if everybody was healthy. Our secondary is definitely weak. We know it, and that's the worry I have going into Sunday's game. So I want to know, who do you think has a better roster offensively and defensively?
So offensively, man, it's so close, bro. I gotta go with Seattle's offense, but just by a hair. I understand, you guys have a deeper core of weapons in terms of receivers. You guys have a better running back, but I think that I'm putting just a little bit more weight on the quarterback battle, just because obviously quarterback is the most valuable position in the sport, in the game. And so just because Russell Wilson is better than Dak Prescott, I'm going to give Seattle the slight edge. If you were to ask me who has a better offense, the way that I look at that question, or the way that I attack that question, is which offense would I trust more heading into a situation where points need to be scored, or maybe in a situation where there needs to be a touchdown in a very close game. And so in a situation like that, I got to side with Seattle. On the defensive side of the football, this one's real tough as well. I got to go with Seattle once again, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can. But I just think that with our secondary, we have a stud. We have the best safety in football in Jamal Adams. You look at our linebacking core, we have the best linebacker in football in Bobby Wagner. I think that when we compare defensive lines, you guys definitely have the advantage in defensive line. You guys have one of the best pass rushers, one of the best defensive ends in football, in DeMarcus Lawrence. Everson Griffin, oh, man, that one hurt. I wanted Everson Griffin to come to us, but I remember, I think it was like about a month ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was doing my podcast, and somebody broke it in the stream. They were like, oh, Everson Griffin to the Cowboys. And I was just like, what? I thought he came down to either Seattle or Green Bay, or maybe back to Minnesota. And so you guys got a real good piece.
Yeah, he
got piece.
The only sack on Sunday.
Oh man, that's crazy. I was just about to say that. Yeah, you guys only had one sack last game. We only had one sack as well. But Everson Griffin, the newcomer, was responsible for that sack. I apologize for the background noise in the back, man, if you could hear that. But yeah, defensive line, you guys have the advantage. But I think that overall on defense, because we have the advantages in the secondary and in the linebacking core, I got to go Seattle. And then offense, I got to go with Seattle, but just by here.
Okay. So Zay says, Big Game James says Seattle's secondary is absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I mean, look, our secondary has definitely struggled, but I think, like I said early on in the stream, guys are still getting acclimated. Quentin Dunbar, he was rated as the second best cornerback in all of football last season by Pro Football Focus. He led the Washington football team last year with 4 interceptions, and that was only in 11 games played. And I think that with him being a newcomer, Jamal Adams is a newcomer. Quandre Diggs only spent 5 games with us last season. He's still essentially a newcomer himself. But I've been on record saying that we have the best safety duo in football, or if not, by the end of the season, we're going to have the best safety
but right now,
duo.
You're saying the end of the season. We're going into week 3.
But going into week 3, I still think we have the better secondary because as bad as our secondary has been, your guys has been even worse. And now you guys are dealing with injuries to your starting cornerback. And I think that definitely doesn't help matters. But once again, just by here, I got to go with Seattle.
Okay, so Moving the Chains, huge shout out to Moving the Chains, said if Dallas front 7 shows up, Russell Wilson handle that heat and easy because of what they're bringing. And I agree. I have to agree because if our front 7 definitely steps up, will Russell Wilson be able to handle that pressure that's going to be brought to him? Like, we have a lot of young guys that are hungry. We got Jalen Smith. We got LVE was a huge loss. We don't have Sean Lee. Like the problem, and I talked about this in my channel prior to the season starting, and I said that neck injury that LVE has, and any neck injury that any player has, isn't something to recover from quickly. So when he got injured again, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. It's a sad thing to say, and you know what? He like you said, he's a young guy. He was a force to be reckoned with. He was all over the field. He was like a younger Sean Lee, going into this. And I'm worried about what we're going to be bringing this Sunday, But I believe that if our front 7 steps up and brings that pressure to Russell Wilson, will he be able to scramble the way he does, and will he be able to get the ball out as quickly as he's used to? Now, with that being said, I know Wilson is good under pressure, really good under pressure.
Right.
But the problem,
I'm glad you're able to recognize it.
Yeah. The question I have is that how will he adapt to what Dallas is? Now, if they're coming from both ends, will he be able to adapt to that and be able to get the ball out as quickly as he usually does?
I think so. I mean, as you already got into it, he's very good under pressure. I think he's actually the best quarterback under pressure. You look at some of the numbers, you take a deeper look into some of the numbers under pressure. He's been absolutely tearing it up under pressure. I think that he's done a great job of utilizing guys in the short passing game. He understands that his offensive line has never been one of the best in football. And so once he's able to recognize that, then he's able to adjust to that. And I think that having guys like Tyler Lockett, who's able to run any route on the football field, having a guy like DK Metcalf, who I think is the next Megatron, having a guy that big that you could throw to. Chris Carson, I think he's had a very surprising impact in the passing game. He's had multiple receiving touchdowns on a year. And so I think that Russell Wilson has done a good job of utilizing guys in the short passing game, because when a team is blitzing heavy, or when a team is sending a pass rush out there and you're unable to protect, well, one way you could protect a quarterback is to utilize the short passing game. And if not that, utilize the running game. And obviously we have a very balanced offense. Not only can we score points through the air, as everybody knows, we can run the football with the best of them. We've been top 5 in the league in rushing for I don't know how many years now. And so with the weapons that we have, Greg Olsen, Will Dissly, I haven't even gotten to our tight ends. I think that Russell Wilson will be just fine under pressure. I know Dallas is going to try to send out the heat. You guys are going to try to, disguise packages, send out blitzes and all that. But I think that Russell Wilson's too good, too smart, and he's too knowledgeable of the guys that he has around him to be able to fall victim to you guys' pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to say from my end with our offense going into this game, and even our defense, look out for Diggs this Sunday, man, because let Russell Wilson know, don't throw towards Diggs, because he should have had 4 picks already this year. He's gonna when he does get into his groove, I think Diggs is gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So let Russell Wilson. I don't know if you can pick up your phone and give Russell Wilson a call, but just give him a little bit of advice of be careful about throwing towards Diggs this Sunday, man, because he's hungry and he's gonna get that pick. And once he does start getting his groove, he's gonna be one of those guys to definitely look out for. And as for our offense, your secondary's got to look out for. Listen, this guy right here.
Is that CD?
Right here, Number 88, CeeDee Lamb. He's starting to get in his groove. Okay, so he had over 100 yards last week. He was our key guy. I saw Dak started going to him a lot more, and I was happy from what I'm seeing from him. And I think that he's starting to get the jitters out. Being worried about. Listen, going to the NFL as a rookie, he's got to be a lot of pressure. He had a lot of pressure going into playing for the Dallas Cowboys, getting the number 88. That's a lot of pressure on alone, and I think he knows that the fans, the team, and Jerry Jones and so on expect a lot from him, because of what he did in his college, and I believe that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. We have, like you said earlier, we have a lot of weapons. We got CeeDee Lamb, we got Cooper, we got Zeke, we got Gallup. There's so many guys that can spread the ball to, and I think that's why a lot of people are saying that your secondary is not. It's just as weak as the Dallas Cowboys. And I think with that being said, that's why it's going to be a very high-scoring game. So with that being said, what do you think you're going to – and be biased. It's okay. You're going to be allowed to – because I'm going to be biased too. What do you think the final score will be going into Sunday's game?
Man. Yeah, like you said, this is going to be a very, very high-scoring game. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be a show. It's going to be primetime football. And, nowadays, especially, in recent years, it's a lot more fun, to see teams pile on the points. It's just a lot more entertaining. So I'm going to go with Seattle here just because I think that Dallas has been very inconsistent. And if not for that miraculous victory against the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, this team could very well be 0-2 right now. And so it took a whole lot to get to 1-1. But obviously doing what they did, that does a lot for a team. That I think that injects a whole lot of confidence. And I think that could definitely turn the season around. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Atlanta, there's a reason why they've given up so many leads in the past, especially dating back to the Super Bowl. They're just very incompetent when it comes to having huge leads. And so I think part of the reason why Dallas was able to come back was also because of Atlanta's incompetence. But with that aside, I think that Seattle edges them out in a very close one. I honestly can't remember. I don't even remember bringing up a final score on my Three Keys video. And so I might be on a record saying a different score, but the score that I'm going to come up with as of right now, I'm going to go Seattle 37 to Dallas 33.
Okay, 37-33. Seattle, eh?
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm flipping it another way. I'm not gonna go that high. I'm gonna say, let's see. I'm gonna say 29 Dallas, and I would say 21 Seattle.
You don't think we score more than 3 touchdowns?
Nah.
Okay. I mean, we've only scored 30 plus in both of our games to open the season.
You guys are gonna get 24 points. I'll give you
24?
I'll give you an additional field goal on that. I'll
take it. I
think it's gonna be a high scoring game, and to me, that's not too high. That's like medium high.
Right.
But I believe that it will be a closer score than being like a difference, huge gap in between the whoever wins this game. Right. And I have to say, and guys, thanks for tuning in. For everyone who definitely wrote in the comments, it's gonna be a hot game. It's gonna be this is gonna be an exciting game. I think a lot of people are gonna be watching this game. A lot of Seattle fans, Dallas fans, but at the end, I think that the reason why I'm saying that Dallas is going to come on top this weekend, it's not because you guys have already gotten your groove. You're 2-0, but the type of win that we got last Sunday, has given the Dallas Cowboys that confidence, and that they had that team come. Listen, these guys came together from a deficit and came back and won. So I think that the Dallas Cowboys are definitely going into this game saying to themselves, look what we did last Sunday. Look how well we ended up. Listen, Dak is our QB. Dak and Zeke last week stepped up hard, and so did the rest of it. Don't get me wrong. We had a lot of key plays, and we had a lot of players step up. Listen, that tight end Schultz stepped up. Listen, this guy, took over. Blake Jarwin's out, and Schultz came up, and wow. I saw a big thing from Schultz too, and I was very shocked. These young guys are hungry. So I think that's why the Dallas Cowboys will come on top of this one, because of the fact that we have a lot of these guys that are hungry. And like I said, you guys are into your groove already, and I think you guys are going to struggle against what Dallas is going to bring to you. Again, this is my opinion, and my opinion only. This is Speak Your Mind all the time for a reason. Steezy, before we cut off, I just want you to definitely let the fans know where to find you again. Let them know about your Twitter, Instagram, your YouTube, whatever you have. Let the fans know where to find you.
My man, hey, bro, I appreciate it. It was a pleasure being on the show. As I told you, hopefully we could try to set something up post-game. Real quick, if Norcam is unable to go, because I know that he's also doing a live stream himself, my partner in crime, Noah Bolter at DJ Squabo. He's my fellow. He's my fellow brother. He's actually the one who got me into YouTube. But I think that he's actually the one I do my podcast with as well. And I think that he'd be a welcome addition or a welcome guest if Norcam is unable to go, or maybe if there's a way that we could get all of us. I know that's a lot of people. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think that you should definitely check him out at DJ Squabo, DJ Squabo. That's my brother from another mother right there, and my partner in crime. If not for him, I wouldn't even be doing this YouTube stuff. And so I think that we should definitely, look at him. If you guys want to, subscribe to his page, do that for me. Please show him some love. And you guys can find me at Steezy A. Smith on YouTube. I have a new Instagram at Steezy A. Smith. My Twitter is going to be Cal Steezy Sports. Once again, my guy, I appreciate you for having me on the show, bro. It was my pleasure. I'd love to be back on. And last but not least, I got some merch here in the background. I know you guys probably don't know me, but, if you guys check out my channel, if you guys like what you see, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Steezy A. Smith. Hit me with a DM, and I'll be sure to send you a link to my merch. But, thank you again, once again. Much love. And I'm out.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Definitely. Listen, the minute I'm done doing this stream, I'm going to message my man, Jay Tuck. I'm going to set that up for sure. Speak to your guy. Let him know. Listen, let's do a post-game show. The minute the game's done, we'll set up a time that we can all just jump on. And yeah, man, that'll be definitely hot to do. I don't know. Like I said, I know me. I can take it if we lose. Jay Tuck, he's a little bit more sensitive than I am. He gets, he doesn't take losses very well.
Right.
So, but he did want to go live even last Sunday when he felt we were about to lose. But I still had that hope that we were going to get that onside recovery, and we did, man. So definitely let's set that up. So guys, be sure to check out a post game show. Reach out to your guy. I'm going to reach out to Jay Chuck, and we'll have it set up today, and let's make it happen, man. Listen,
let's do it, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you for coming on the show, man. This is great. It was nice conversating with a Seattle fan who believes that he'll get this W on Sunday. I don't. I don't. I think you're gonna take that big L going into Sunday, but we'll see. It's definitely gonna be an interesting game. Thank you for everyone for jumping in the chat. We're definitely gonna get together again. It's your boy Sid, and I'm out.